Hey guys, Nicky here again with our last combined final, the male final. And we had a really awesome qualifying round with Alex Megos finishing in first place, superior in bouldering and lead. Unfortunately, we will not see Adam Ondra, who did not make it. Jan Hoyer also didn't make it. Sean McCall. Many more big names who did not make it into the final, but we ended up with Alex Megos, Jakob Schubert, Tomoa Narasaki, Kokoro Fujii, Kai Harada, Rishat Khaibullin, Meichi Narasaki and Mickael Mawem coming into the final in 8th position. If you haven't seen any of the reports or you want to take a look at the thriller of the qualifying round and why Adam Ondra is not here in this final, some people complained. I'm not making the rules here, I can just tell you what happened. Here's a link for you. If you like what I'm doing, please comment, like or share this video. You can also support me here on Patreon. Yeah, thank you. Let's go to the first round and we start again with the speed round, because the last report of the women's final, which you can see here, was a little bit long. Really long and epic. We will start with the last round, the placement duels. Before we start, I just have to say that I enjoy the combined format more and more. We have drama, we have a story, and compared to the bouldering finals, which were just a little bit off, let's put it this way, I enjoy the drama and the intensity of these finals, and I hope you like it as well. So let's get into our speed round. And our first duel for the place 7 and 8 is Alex Megos against Jakob Schubert. We discussed a little bit their slab climbing skills, but what's guaranteed is that their speed climbing skills is their weakest discipline, but they both get closer and closer to the 7-second mark, and they both qualified already for the Olympic Games, so they didn't really mind about their placement regarding the speed finals. Alex anyway, in the qualification round, he was really slow as well, and he just won bouldering and lead just to go into this final in first place. Unfortunately, he got beaten by Jakob here and finished in 8th place, while Jakob finished in position 7. Our race for place 5 and 6 was Kokoro Fujii against Meichi Narasaki, the younger Narasaki brother. And while Jakob and Alex are trying to climb this route in under 7 seconds, Meichi is able to do this already. 6 seconds and 0.7 is quite a good time. The race for place 3 and 4 between Kai Harada and Mickael Mawem. I think Mickael was the favorite for this race, so let's just see what happens. His older brother is Basa Mawem, a multiple World Cup winner in speed climbing, and Mickael is one of the quickest non-speed climbers. Unfortunately, he slipped here and stumbled here. He was almost able to catch up, but Kai Harada 6 seconds and 3.4. That was amazing. The final, we know it. Rishat Khaibullin, the speed climber, against Tomoa Narasaki. Apparently, Rishat only climbs speed once a week. I read that somewhere. I don't know whether this is true or a lie. Doesn't matter. He was under a lot of pressure. Local hero Tomoa Narasaki is one of the quickest speedrunners of the non-speedrunners. Unfortunately, he stumbled here and made a mistake in the lower part of the route, and Rishat climbing in below under 6 seconds. We were able to see again what happened here. Poor Tomoa, but honestly, first or second isn't that big of a difference. Anyway, Rishat won the speed climbing round, Tomoa finishing in second, and I think this is enough talking about the speed category, because bouldering was epic. I still didn't decide whether I want to do a speed report about the speed final. If you want to know more about the speed format and what happened there and what my impressions are and my thoughts about it, please let me know in the comments. I could try to make a short, quick report, not more than 10-15 minutes about the speed climbing, which is quite interesting, I think, as well. But as mentioned before, bouldering is epic. This round is way better than the women's final. Not only the laser show is impressive, also boulder 1, 2 and 3. Our first starter in the bouldering round was Alex Megos, because he finished last in speed, and out of this crimpy toe hook position, you had to release the toe hook, jump into a crimp for your right hand, and then the zone in his first try. The volumes on the left are overlapping. They create a little crimp with your right foot higher. Alex tried to lift his left foot, was not flexible enough, and tried to compress the green volume. In his second try, he's crimping on with his left hand, tries to readjust, falls down, holds his pinky, takes a look at his hand, and unfortunately, really tragic, he tries again to go, but he shakes his head. He pulled an injury. We don't know yet what happened. He shows it to the audience. This is my finger injury in my little finger, my pinky, and he's almost crying. We can see the tears in his eyes, and this is really unfortunate. We are losing Alex Megos. He's not able to climb anymore after boulder number 1. Jakob had the same problems. He was not able to lift his left foot, and every time when you just try to compress the right volume, the red and the green volume together like Kokoro here, it did not work. Kokoro also had some problems getting his foot up. Then he managed to lift and raise his left foot. But then when he tried to move to the pocket, the top hold, he fell down, unfortunately. Mickael Mawem, he is also a big fighter. This is his last try and he is fighting. Just take a look at his face. He tries to go to the zone hold again, tries to move over, tries to lift his left foot and flip his hand before that. Wasn't able to do that, but this guy is putting on a show. It is amazing. And the best showman, I have to say, is Kai Harada, the old bouldering world champion. A little bit sloppy climbing here. Amazing hand swap. But this first move, what he pulled off there, and I don't know what happened in his first try. He slipped again. He slipped with his hand. I don't know. Maybe he lost concentration and he just tried to keep it together. But just take a look, this is one of the sickest moves I've ever seen. He lost the left hand and just fully crimped on his, maybe his first finger pad. There's basically nothing on this crimp. And he's able to kill the momentum. Wasn't able to do the move after this, but in his second try, he was able to get his left foot higher. He went up with the right hand into the pocket, didn't stick it. Way better try than Kokoro. In his next try, his body moved a little bit to the outside. He wanted to try and generate momentum. Unfortunately, he couldn't pull on anymore, didn't stick this move, and the last try with only 20 seconds left, he didn't stick it either. So close. Next starter was Tomoa Narasaki, and this is uncut footage of his flash go. Easy jump into the shoulder, uses the undercling immediately, also finds a really sweet spot position to get his left foot up. And bam, Tomoa Narasaki, world champion in bouldering. Amazing how close he stays to the wall. We can see it's really hard to see and to get a good angle to compare tries and why something happened and why something did not happen. So this was just to show you how close he stayed to the wall. Take a look at Kokoro, for example. He tries to pull on, but his upper body is already so far away from the wall. This is nothing to show except for flexibility in your hip. They basically have the same position. Maybe Tomoa's shoulder and head is a little bit higher. Of course, he's a little bit smaller, but his hip flexibility is just way better than Jakob's and he can lift his foot. Kokoro is even bigger than Jakob and he was able to lift his foot. So we just try to compare Kai and Tomoa's tries here, their attempts. And as mentioned before, it's really hard to tell you any mistakes. The only thing I can tell you for sure is stay close to the wall, and we can see that if you push with your right hand on the volume, it looks like Tomoa has a lot of friction on the right hand. Your upper body stays closer to the wall. I used mainly his left hand on the green volume, but he lost the control over the volume, and his hip and upper body are, while he moves upwards, way further away from the wall, and the momentum pulls him off the wall and down. No top for Kai, only a top for Tomoa so far. Rishat, as our last starter after the speed finals, was able to do the jump into the shoulder. He did not consider using the overlapping volumes. He matched this mean little blocked crimp, moved to the zone, was not able to move or to do anything after this. But he got a zone in boulder number 1, which is impressive, which puts him still in the combined ranking into 2nd place. That's crazy. Unfortunately, as mentioned before, we lost Alexander Megos, and this is not only sad because I am from Germany, I'm a big fan of Alex, but also because he's such a big fighter. And yesterday he had such a good day fighting 2 days ago. Just like winning bouldering and lead in his powerful style. It was so impressive, and I was so looking forward to watch him climbing here. But now I have to wait for Tokyo 2020 because he qualified already. Anyway, boulder number 2. This time a steep boulder. As mentioned before, Alex is not climbing anymore. So Jakob demonstrates the feet forward method to conquer this boulder. Everything was facing to the right side and open to the right side. So if you didn't find any opposing force or you moved too quick, you were just falling off to the right side or just facing towards us. This time his left foot is on the opposing yellow foothold, and he was able with this to minimize the momentum and the speed. With only 30 seconds left, this is Jakob's last go. He needed a couple of tries to do this. This creature of comfort hold is blocked as well. You were supposed to only grab it with one hand, and now you had to move left hand and right hand in one fluid movement. And Jakob is he's devastated. He knew that he should have done this, that he was supposed to top this boulder. And in this left hold, there's a screw on in the dish. We don't see it now, we will see it later. I promise you there is something. As mentioned before, if you have too much momentum to the right, you will slip off and fall. Here, there are different ways to do it. Kokoro, for example, is quite tall, so he finds a point of balance where he can just grab with his hand next to his toe hook. It also took him a couple of tries. No one so far flashed the boulder to the zone. And now he's a little bit taller. We talked about this. Different angles, different length of your limbs sometimes makes it harder a little bit to push yourself out, especially underneath the roof. With 1 minute to go, he didn't even got the control of the penultimate hold. We can see it now. You can see there's something in it, but he was not able to move through it. That was Meichi Narasaki, by the way. Sorry, that was not Kokoro anymore. He also fell on the last move. Kai Harada, showman. He fell out of this double toe hook bat hang. With 50 seconds left, he was able to match and to get the hold, finally move to the zone, and time is running out, Kai. You have to hurry up a little bit, but we know that he can pull something out of his bag. He was really close to boulder number 1. He fell on the last move. And now, what is he doing with boulder number 2 in the last move? Considering his position and moving onto the penultimate, he was able to pull a little bit on the penultimate hold. Didn't find a good position for the shoulder. We will take a look again. He was, a little bit of height was missing to go into this last hold, a kilter, winter, Noah, kaiju. This was the first try of Tomoa. He actually flashed everything up to the zone, and then he slipped off the biggest foothold you could possibly slip off. And now you can see there is a screw on in this dish. The hold itself would have been a little bit too bad, not good enough to help you pull with your left arm and generate a little bit of height and sideways movement for the right shoulder. You have to jump into the Gaston, and that's why route setters add a lot of jibs just to help you get into a position and just to increase the size of the hold. In this case, Tomoa had a lot of time left, and in his second try, in his typical Tomoa style, he didn't need that much of the time. He was grabbing actually the yellow foothold as an opposing force and to get through the lower part, and this is actually such a good boulder. Foot forward start, body tension, tricky movements, powerful, and then this top move, which is just epic. take a look how wild this move is. Like, he didn't get it in a good position. I think if he would have jumped a little bit higher, his shoulders would have been more stable. But doesn't matter. This is Tomoa Narasaki. Ugh, this looks like death. Like, how did he stick this? I don't know. Tomoa Narasaki, world champion in bouldering, one more time, once again. The only one actually able to climb a boulder so far. Boulder number 3, on the other hand, was a little bit different. It was a traverse from the left to the right. It started with this pushing move and quite powerful body positioning, because out of this position it's Jakob's first try. We can see how strenuous and how powerful it is for his shoulders. You have to transfer the weight from the left to the right until you can push yourself underneath this half circle, which is dual tax. Only on the left side is it good to grab it. On the right side there was a screw on, which we will see in a bit. Jakob's still first try. He's already 50 seconds in this boulder. We know he has a lot of endurance and power, but oh boy, this is not a comfortable position you want to spend time in. Again, he's climbing in ballerinas, or whatever these shoes are called, like soft shoes, not in his solution. Maybe for slabs he decided to go to this and to change this pair of shoes. Standing in this corner, we've seen it yesterday at the women combined final, the panel doesn't have any friction, so it's quite way harder than you might think to go to the right. He considers matching feet with his right foot already over there. He cannot generate the speed to fall down to the right, so he switches his feet again and decides to go with his right hand first. Considering, taking a look around, this is a corner where you can spend time thinking and reconsider your choices. 2 minutes already gone, and he tries to kill the momentum with a left hand on the blue screw-on, which did not work. Jakob was running out of time, was not able to do it anymore. We were able to see that he tried to stand on his left foot for a moment on this red hold. Kokoro, also in his flash try, if I'm not mistaken, is in the same corner position as Jakob, and we can see him thinking as well. He matches feet as well, is only standing on the left foot, moves the left foot further over and over, finds the balance and is able to reach the next hold only with his right foot. Goes slowly to the blue screw on, which is not that good. He still stands with his left foot on the red foothold. He could move it higher. He's doing it right now. So he starts a little bit higher and then he tries to do this static. Pull. Slips, and in his second try after this, he's doing it a little bit quicker with only 30 seconds left to spare. Kokoro Fujii finds the top for boulder number 2. I guess Kokoro was able to match feet here because he's a little bit taller and he's also bumping or pushing on the right hand side only on his extended fingers, while Jakob on the left hand side is pushing on his palm. And Kokoro is also a little bit taller. Both hips are already crossing the line, but I think his upper body, because he's taller, is already a little bit further to the right, and like this it's easier for him to push himself only onto the foothold. There were other ways to climb it. Meichi Narasaki demonstrates another way. He's also quite tall on the other hand, so he was able to reach it with his foot and still push over with his upper body. And then he flashed boulder number 2. First top for Meichi Narasaki. Being tall is not always an advantage. We can see Mickael here. He has to deal with the momentum his body generates when he releases his left foot. He needed 3 minutes to stick this move, go into the shoulder. Didn't have the power to transfer his weight from the left into the right shoulder. Matched facing always outwards, almost outwards. And now he's climbing really quick. He's a speed climber. No, he's not touching the zone hold, so he's going to risk everything he has, because if he doesn't do this move now, which he does Woo! But if he would not have sent this move, he would not have gotten the zone because he didn't control or touch the zone at all. Kai Harada tried something fancy again. Maybe he read it wrong. The only time here when he tried to do it slow, he tried to do it with a really, this looks like exorcism. This doesn't look healthy for your knee. So he never tried it once to move slowly into the shoulder. He's sticking this with his right hand on the outside of the half circle. Didn't find a way to find a stable position. He tried it one more time dynamic. He just read it wrong. Coming in, Tomoa Narasaki, uncut footage again of his flash go. Releasing the foot, looking for the stable position for your shoulder, going slowly. Of course, he fits really good into this position, but Kai Harada could have done the same, I think. They are not that different in their body type and height. So just stay calm and do it as slow as possible sometimes, especially in these shoulder positions. Not everything is fancy, but sometimes you gotta risk it all, even if you read stuff wrong. And he did this the same way Jakob could have done it. Flexibility with his right foot already on the right. He did not reach the last hold in his flash go. He went back, and we can see that he launched from the lower foothold, the red foothold first. Now he takes a look around, reconsiders, bumps up with his left foothold onto the blue circle, and is able to do it. Because the higher you launch from, the easier it is in this case. 3 boulders done. Tomoa Narasaki, the only one to climb more than 1 boulder, 3 boulders. And he's going into the lead as a favorite. Second in speed, first in bouldering. And now we come to the last route, the end boss, the end game, the lead route on the right side. And our first starter, again, is Jakob Schubert. And I think we all agree he is our strongest lead competitor. So we will have a look at the full route. We started with these beautiful orange plywood volumes. We have some lapis plywood volumes at the bottom. I don't know the other volumes, but I've seen them before in this competition. Orange, black, beautiful contrast. Similar to the women's route, a lot of 360 holes, dual tags blocked with these other globes and spheres. Is it spheres? Spheres? Anyway, you will tell me. I think it's spheres. The traverse to the right, a lot of open hand grips just to get you pumped and they don't offer you any position and time to rest properly. And as mentioned before, for the combined, it's really, really important also to climb quite quick, because if you reach the same height, it comes down, counts back to the time you reached this height. There's a screw on with a tick mark, which only the route setters are allowed to do a tick mark in a competition. Just to show you where the screw on is, a little bit of help. And now he moves into my favorite kind of volumes. These volumes are beta Routesetting volumes. A little bit of advertising here. Buy these volumes, make us rich. Screw-ons on these pinchy volumes. Beautiful. Please zoom in again, because now it gets a little bit harder and more difficult. Thank you. I didn't want to blame the cameraman in the last couple of reports. I just like to have a 4K stream so I could zoom in onto everything. He cuts loose here, remember that, goes into the shoulder, and now it crimps and slopers all over again. And for the next clip, he has to climb down, traverse to the right, more dual text holds underneath, slopers, and he's pumping and fighting. We can see Jakob is sweating, and now he's in fighting mode. Oh, watch out that you don't push your toe hook too far around the wall. With the toe hook, he reaches the first sloper above the lip on the third panel, goes into the first dish with a heel hook, able to control here and shake a little bit. I think there's a screw on the right side. On the dual text side, we cannot see it properly. Sitting on the left foothold, he moves into the last traverse. Now one big traverse to the left leads to the last crux section. And Jakob, more than 3 minutes left, steady climbing style, powerful, and it's just beautiful to watch him climbing. It never looks like he's the most, not like sophisticated, he's not moving effortless, but yeah, that's how we climb, that's how I feel climbing on the wall, fighting when I have a rope, and that's what makes it so good. He's always putting on a good show and makes so much fun to watch him. He's mentioned this traverse left, right, and I don't know how he still stays on the wall. This open move into this crimp, standing on this ramp, just another tiny crimp on the volume, just another handhold, and now the finishing move, the end move to finish Thanos off, to top this route. Jakob Schubert in 2 minutes, with 2 minutes 30 left, tops the lead route, and he knows this is a statement. This is something to put the others under pressure, even though he didn't top anything in the bouldering round. He didn't succeed or didn't climb that good at speed. Yeah, this is a lot of pressure for everyone who is climbing after him, and they all knew that Jakob is strong and topped this route. So coming in, Kai Harada, looking quite fit up to this point and also quite quick. He only needed 2 minutes. Then he moved onto the dish. Take a look at his feet. He has his left foot higher. Now he slips a little bit, cuts loose, pulls on. It tries to shake out here. I think he doesn't grip the right hold in a good position. Tries to rearrange his grip, slips off. That's it for Kai Harada. But also quite high. Kokoro Fujii, we start a little bit lower here. And as mentioned before, this is a hard part. Jakob had to fight really, really hard and had to spend a lot of time and sweat and energy here, and Kokoro as well. Take a look at his forearms, at his biceps. He is pumped. This route is not easy. He's looking and struggling to find footholds. Jakob did this move with a toe hook on the right. Kokoro is sitting on his right heel hook here. And we can see this animated circle. The next hold he has to go to. He's going to this hold. And looking for footholds, we've seen that this is not the easiest section to find footholds. Tries to match and falls off, which means his ranking is 1 lower than Kai's. I don't remember. I think Kai gets a better ranking because he had it with 2 hands and controlled it. Mickael is good at bouldering, good in speed, but he wasted a lot of power in the bouldering. So he tried something really smart. A double clip here. The first quick draw, reconsidered. I can clip from here and then I can go into fighting mode. Unfortunately, he slipped with his left heel. This was not planned, not expected. And yeah, thank you. That was a good show and a good fight up to this point. And we will see each other again in Tokyo next year. Yeah, he just slipped. Maybe he was a little bit overextended while he was clipping. Unfortunate circumstances. It can happen. Meichi Narasaki, I did exactly the same. He tried to clip the 2 quick draws, and then considering taking a break, thinking, calming down, he tried to get the heel hook out, got stuck in the rope, on the rope. I think he would have fallen like Mickael because he lost the heel hook on the left side and only his right leg got caught in the rope, so his backswing kind of got slowed down by the rope. He fell anyway, so unfortunate. Yeah, happens even to the best of us. We have seen Mickael and Meichi falling not quite low, but somewhere around here, and I haven't seen Rishat before on a rope, and he did not consider clipping here. I think he took a look, but then he decided to go on from there, and then he moved to the next hold. And from this point on, it's more or less the question whether you can still clip the quick draw, which is next to his left foot. He didn't even try it. The only thing he tried was to climb down. Then he fell, but because in theory, it would have been possible to clip from there, he ranked higher than Meichi and higher than Mickael. We can see it here. He got hold 22. So he got higher than 2 of the other combined climbers, which is amazing. He got a zone, he won speed, and we will take a look in a minute after we watched Tomoa, who climbed quick. wow, only 1 minute 15 up to this point. He is just fast. He's impeccable climbing style, determined, like a Terminator, just like, oh, watch out again. This is quite risky, I have to say, the volume placement. On the other hand, the wall isn't that much wider. He did not use the toe hook. He used the sitting on this ball underneath. Then he jumped to this dish, and we've seen a couple of people struggling here. And the only thing Tomoa did, just like jump and go for it. Clipped. And from this point on, he was, I think, in second position because he was by far the quickest. We were not able to see here what happened. He tried to lift his foot, clip, breathing. I think he was pumped, but because he was so much quicker than Kai Harada, he finished second in lead, first in boulder, and second in speed. Congratulations, this is just amazing, Tomoa Narasaki. This is so good. Only 4 points in the ranking, and Jakob Schubert, with his win in lead, pushed forward onto the second place. Jakob got a medal in bouldering, lead, and in the combined. And Rishat Khaibullin, Kazakhstan, third place, bronze medal. Isn't that amazing? We have a speed climber, or like someone whose favorite discipline is speed, on the third place. Combined is crazy, I tell you guys. The Olympic Games will be madness, intense, drama, blood, tears, smiles. I'm looking forward to it. There will be the Olympic qualifying event in Toulouse in November. You know, a lot of people out there don't like combined, and I think we should talk about this in another episode, but just take a look how close everything is together. Imagine Kai Harada would have topped 1 or 2 boulder problems, then he would have moved forward into second place in bouldering, which means already a silver medal, bronze for Jakob. Jakob also really close to get more done. And there's a lot of improvement possible for every one of those starters, maybe except for Tomoa, but I think he can also improve on lead and speed just a little bit. But Jakob, he has a lot of improvements to do when it comes to the speed climbing. Just 1 or 2 positions are so important. And when we take a look at the speed finals, it was really, really important to see that you do flawless runs. Don't stumble, don't smear, don't just slip off. Just a flawless, fluid run. Anyway, these are our combined medalists. Bronze for Rishat Khaibullin, silver for Jakob Schubert, and gold again for Tomoa Narasaki, which is, as mentioned before multiple times, my favorite for the combined format. On the other hand, I think Alex Megos would have had a good shot here as well, because if he would have been able to top the first boulder, second boulder, of course it was tricky, but he is strong. And the slab, yeah, I would have loved to see him on the slab. Some argue he's good on slabs. I would say, mediocre, not the best, but I think this slab, he could have done it because it wasn't too different to the qualifying slab. Okay, 33 minutes already. Nikki, you have to stop. So, thank you so much everyone for all your comments, feedback, and I will try to do the combined qualification women soon and also the semifinals bouldering. Let me know about the speed finals, please. Let me know whether you would enjoy watching speed finals report, and I will go to Arco, to the Youth World Championships on Friday, and try to tell you more about the future of climbing of tomorrow, the future of climbing, the future climbing generation. I think we will see some people we already have seen before. Ray Kawamata, who was in a bouldering senior final, is in Arco, and I think multiple other strong starters will be there as well. And remember, Japan had the last couple of world champs in the Youth A, Juniors, Youth B, so there will be future finalists there in Arco. I will also try to meet some IFSC people. For example, I tried to meet and have an appointment, hopefully it works, with Marco Scolaris, the IFSC president. So if you have any questions regarding an IFSC World Cup, the Olympic Games, and you want to know why and how this all happened, please post it in the comments, let me know. I will try to gather all these questions and I will try to answer them over the next couple of days and weeks. So stay climb, keep parkour, Nikki out, and thank you for watching, and keep all my spelling and pronunciation mistakes for yourself. They are free. I love you. Bye bye.